All right, so Sam is the founder and president of Bazooka Inc., a Montreal-based tech company that creates HR AI-powered tools to help organizations become more productive and inclusive. Other than being an entrepreneur, she's an educator, speaker, PhD candidate, and an inclusion and diversity advocate in data science. In her spare time, she sits on various boards, paints, and does mentorship. All right, so I will stop sharing my screen then, Sam, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, let me get this bigger. All right, so thank you for having me. Super happy. Thank you, Julia, for reach out to me. I'm so excited. It's getting late. It's not going to be super long, but it's going to be effective. So let's get into it. So like she said, my name is Sam. So I'm the founder of Bazooka. As she said, we create HR apps with AI powered mostly to support recruiters and businesses and business owner in recruiting and make sure that they have the right people at the right place. So let's get into it. So my subject tonight is diversity in HR. As you know, since it's been the last few months, it's been a big topic right now, and it just happened that we developing right now a product in that field in my startup. So I'm gonna get into why it matters and unconscious bias in the selecting candidates when we recruit, and as well as can technology be a solution in helping out in recruiting diversity. So the problem, there was a study that was made last year. I'm from Quebec, by the way, so pardon my English. So there was a study made by a sociologist at University of Laval. His name is called Jean-Philippe Beauregard, and he made a little research, pretty extensive. He sent 1,500 CVs for 500 different job offers in Quebec and in Lévis, which is another city very far from Montreal, maybe 5 hours. And he realized that in changing the names from a white Caucasian male name to a more ethnic and cultural name with the same competencies, the same experience, the same diplomas at the same universities, the response wasn't the same from the employers. So the result is that 25 to 35% of people from diversity, people who are more diverse, like Black, brown people, and BIPOC people, have less chance than finding a job compared to their counterpart, which is a male white Caucasian. So we saw that it's a big thing, especially in Quebec, where we always looking for people to hire. There's even with COVID, it's very hard to hire. We're missing a lot of good candidates. And this sociologist, what was interesting about it is that when he finished the study, the resume at the end, the conclusion was this: how can a name be so have a different response as 25 to 30% difference? So he said, he reached out to me and said, Sam, can we do something about it? Can we just think about what would be the problem? So we started calling different organizations and employers to know and expose to them what we did, especially those who we tricked them with the CV, same CV, different names. And they were pretty surprised and shocked themselves, right? So we decided to focus on conscious and unconscious bias because we realized that a lot of them weren't even aware that they didn't call a more Arabic sound name or a more African American or African Canadian name. So, and what was very sad about it is that when we reached out to them, we told them if they knew about the complexity, but the beauty of having a more diverse teams in different businesses. According to the Harvard Business Review, teams are 17% more likely to report that they are high performing when they have more diverse teams, and 20% more likely to say that they make they make high quality decision when they are more diverse, and 29% of them, they're saying that they're more likely to report behaving collaboratively. So there's so many great things about having a more diverse teams in a workplace. So what is the problem in terms of recruiting them? So I'm just gonna push a little bit in terms of defining unconscious biases for those who don't know what it is. So it's basically social stereotypes about different group of people, individuals, and that they are not aware of. For example, I had myself unconscious bias about different group of people. For example, I graduated at Sherbrooke University. I'm a real fan of that university. So when I used to receive CVs from people from the same university I came from, I was tend to call them more than other people from other university because I feel connected. They look like me. They know the same teachers that I know. They probably work on the same business case that I did doing my MBA. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call them not because they were more competent or they had more experience. It's just because they went to the same school as me. So I realized on my own that, okay, unconscious bias is very large, and it's not a question about being a good person or bad person, or even worse, to be racist or not racist. It's not the case. It's just that we tend to go with two people that look like us and think like us. It's a very natural way of being as a human. So so now that I know that, now I have a more diverse team in my startup. So they come from different background, but I had to realize it myself doing the research. So so how can we solve that problem? Okay, so the first step that we realized that was very important in our research, it was to make an analysis our own bias as a recruiter. Recruiter meaning you could be in HR, you can be not in HR, right, really like me, and be just an entrepreneur, a CEO of a business, and then you have to hire as well. It's just being conscious that we all have this kind of bias and accept it, and just to be careful in terms of selecting CVs and analyze if we really looking at competencies and experience and not anything else that could make somebody not having the job that could be very good for the position, for example. Also, it's very important to understand our candidate pool. So, for example, if you have 10 CVs and then 9 out of 10 are men only, for sure, it's not the bias or the selection that's the problem, but it's just the candidate pools that we have push us to always hire the same type of people because the same type of people apply to our job offer. So this is something that's going to be that could give us an idea of where the problem could be from in terms of hiring diversity. Sometimes diversity do not apply to your job posting. So now we have to go and look at other types of issue that we might have in terms of recruiting diversity, which is how the job post is written. Is it inclusive? And is it written in a way that everybody feel that they can apply? Or the competencies or the experience that we're asking from that person is really necessary to the position, or exclude a certain type of people from the pool that we're trying to attract in terms of application. And then another one is tracking our decision into like when we selecting candidates. So it's not something that we a lot of small businesses do when they don't have a tech tool to support their recruitment. And I see that a lot in terms of startup or small businesses. The budget is tighter. They don't use HR tools other than just website to post their position open. And so I see that they don't track a lot the selected candidates in terms of looking at what type of candidate I just hired in terms of diversity, in terms of gender, language, religion, color, culture, economic background, race, whatever, that makes that person different from us, and make sure that we don't repeat always the same type of decision in terms of selecting always the same type of people. So and this is the mostly what we saw in the businesses. So what we do to help in my business, we're creating right now an app. So following the research process, which took like a year and a half, we're developing with Polytechnic University, which is University for Engineers, and IVADO, which is a data science research institute in Quebec, very known. We're developing an application that's going to be able to analyze diversity science in CVs and candidate pools to make sure that we track our recruitment and we track how we select our candidates, and make sure that we give the appropriate support to recruiters to make sure that they take the right decisions in terms of recruitment. Am I hiring the right person at the right place? Am I giving the chance to everybody to showcase experience and competencies? And based only on that, am I projecting my own personality, my own background to someone else, and make sure that I have in a team everybody that looks like me? We don't do it on purpose. That's why we call it unconscious biases in term, and it affects a lot of people in terms of selecting. It affects us as a business person, in our industry, because we tend to miss out we tend to miss out a lot of great candidate that could bring our business at another level, but unfortunately we have those bias. So we're looking to launch in March 2021, and we already have many clients that's ready to use the application, and then we use that database in terms of CVs, because we don't have that much CVs in our data pool. So we use a lot of collaboration with large organization to make sure that our algorithm work in terms of analyzing the text, analyzing the photos, analyzing everything, that we could see that there's some type of diversity, and make sure that we track everything. So that will be it. Do you have any question?